Hello, guys, and welcome to another community call. This is Wednesday, 11th of October. Still in the depths of the bear market, but this is the best moment to build stuff that matter, especially when we will have a new cycle of a bull market, and we want to let everything very well organized for when that comes, and more people can and join us into this beautiful industry, right? One thing is for sure, never a dull day in crypto, right? That we know for sure. So I think this week, one of the highlights we had is that we are doing lots of progress in our curation elements. In particular, there is the MetaMask Snap that you can use for using Kleros to make more secure transactions in the context of MetaMask, and this is being this very popular. I don't know, Jean, if we have the updated statistics of how many people actually downloaded the Snap.
No, I don't have it yet, but I'll ask Akhil.
Last time, how much was last time? It was a lot already.
I believe it was 7,000, but it was only the first week, so by now that it's probably is a multiple
7,200.
Yeah.
I mean, this is super important because we have as you know, while Kleros and curation is a very good compliance tool, anti-scam tool that prevents people falling victims of, well, the first thing was scam tokens. This is what we launched in 2019 when we did the tokens launch. That is a curated list for preventing scam tokens from being listed into decentralized exchanges, and this was used, for example, by Uniswap. And then we started adding different elements that provide a more complete and comprehensive service of curation for crypto assets, and also for Ethereum addresses. So, like, how do you know that the address where you are going to send a transaction is actually the right address, and this is not an impersonation, and then you send the funds to the wrong place, and you know how it ends. So this is super interesting, and this solution is already being used, like, for example, by Etherscan. I mean, maybe Jim, you can share in the Telegram group one of the Etherscan front ends where we have a Kleros address, a curated address, and now MetaMask. And as we consolidate our work in this industry, then we will have it scaled to other places as we start building this list, and the list becomes more comprehensive and it becomes more useful, and then it's going to be adopted by more people. We have also I think now an incentive program, Jean, about this for submissions. Maybe you want to mention something about that for people who want to make some submissions.
Yes, I believe that last week was the first time that we sent the reports for the submissions for the month of September, and we got submissions on, of course, every chain that we are incentivizing, and for the 3 registries. And we also renewed the incentive program for the next 3 months. And we now have a dashboard created by Gormian that makes it easy to evaluate which chains or which registries can give like a better reward. So that's for people that are like specializing in it, because it can be the difference in rewards can be very drastic if you look for the right contracts, the ones that spend more gas or are on a chain that did not receive lots of submissions. So I would recommend checking the dashboard and then making the submissions.
Awesome, thank you. So you have that to do. If you want to submit more stuff, welcome to do that. I don't know, Marcos, do you have something to add from business development? Uh, this was a very big week for business development, but I mean, I don't think, I mean, most of the things going on are more like private conversations and still not public. But yeah, go ahead, Marcos.
Hey, yes, we have some info from the B team. In first place, we have a good news. That is, we have a new intern. He's called Prince. He's from Nigeria, Africa, and well, he will be working in the BD team to have more integrations. As Juan said, the good thing here is that Prince is from a place where Kleros has been not working a lot, that is Africa. So we might get some new integrations from that place. And he's now based in Europe. So we're working mostly in those two continents. And then
Hello?
we have some talks with different projects. In first place, we have a sex that we have another call with another project from Argentina. We still can't say the name, but yes, an interesting project that we might be saying some news in the next weeks.
Yeah, we have that bunch of those where I think in the business of making, for example, auctions, that type of things. So prediction markets also. So that thing. I mean, I already asked Wang Mian if he can come in maybe next week or the other to give you like a more comprehensive update of everything about business development, because we have lots of different things going on and lots of different integrations happening. I don't want to say the number because I will make a mistake and then people are going to make a meme. But we have like lots of integrations now, and it's kind of accelerating.
Yeah, one of the things that Wamian mentioned the last weeks was that we are close to 200 integrations. So that's a really good news for Kleros. The idea is to achieve that number at the end of the year. But yeah, that's really good for us.
Well, 200 integrations, that's a lot. Which is a big part of the Web3 ecosystem. Okay, so then I can give you. I think Marcos, I maybe mute because I have echoes from your side. Yeah, better. Thank you. We had a bunch of conversations. I cannot say with who, but in particular, I can say the topic that is emerging a lot these days is about the use of Kleros as a tool that can be of assistance to mediation processes. So we typically present Kleros as an arbitration tool, which is perfectly fine, especially when we are thinking into the Web3 ecosystem. But for the Web2 or 2.5 ecosystem, we have discovered quite recently that the word mediation seems to be way more interesting for them. And this is connected to some work I have been doing with Rob, a community member from very old day, where we built a little model where you can use Kleros for mediating disputes. So what they call in the industry mediation arbitration, med-arb, it starts by a mediation, and if there is some situation that is not resolved by the mediation phase, then it goes to arbitration. And so the use of Kleros in this context is also a very good way to onboard people into Kleros because they start with the mediation phase, and it's way easier for the mediator to help onboard people to Kleros than ask for people to just get onboarded by themselves because that's not easy to do. We have this week we had a bunch of different conversations in this context about the use of Kleros, for example, in an industry I have been following for a long time, and that now I think we might end up doing something here. It's just esports. We have lots of esports tournaments and gaming in general. They have lots of different disputes because of cheating, because of some player not complying with rules or a number of different situations. It depends on the game, of course. So we have been doing a lot of research and conversations with different actors this week, from the point of view of how would a more comprehensive mediation arbitration process would work with the use of Kleros. So this was a very, very encouraging, because this is a very much growing industry. So this is really bullish, and I was super happy with the results we got this week and the learnings we had. So we had that, and then we had, for those of you who are into, they enjoy reading, we just published 2 days ago, I think, the Frontiers in Blockchain, which is a very good publication in the ecosystem, published this paper. Called, I don't remember the exact name, but it's about compilation and a summary of the story of decentralized justice, of how we started, the main challenges we faced, and the main challenges we see moving forward into the future. I can just give you a short introduction of the 4 main challenges. We have like a technical elements, that is the kind of stuff that William has to worry about attack resistance, how to make it secure, how to make it, resistant to different types of situations, lazy attacks, bribery, everything that you already know, and that William can explain a bit later if you want. Then we have market challenges, so in which use cases this type of approach can work better. Kleros can be used in which industries. That depends also a lot in what is the cost of using Kleros, and of course, if it's cheaper to use because we managed to solve the technical problems, then this can address a number of new use cases that are lower value and smaller claims. Then that's the second challenge. Then the third challenge is regarding the legal element. So is Kleros arbitration under the conventional regulation of arbitration? Is it more like a mediation tool, or is it like an expert determination? So there are different ways in which you can see Kleros and the legal challenges it faces. And so this is also a very important topic for research. And finally, the moral or ethical challenges that Kleros faces because of this very different way to resolve cases, which is based on what you know about token voting and incentives that is very different to traditional methods for dispute resolution. So all of these 4 topics is what we need to resolve for making Kleros become very, very massive. So if you are interested in helping us research in any of those, you can apply to the fellowship. That applications are open now, and we plan to start interviewing candidates next week. So you can research. There's a bunch of tracks that we offer, but you can research anything that is relevant for Kleros. Some of the tracks we have now is prediction markets. Another one is insurance, content moderation, DAO constitutions, and I think we have 3 or 4 more that you can see in the post. So and do read the article. Don't just wait for me to summarize everything. I can do it, but if you read it, it's better. Okay, let's go to our favorite segment of the call, which is, of course, William. Go ahead.
Sure. I'm, of course, happy to see that the article that we wrote came out on the recurring criticisms and sort of like future challenges for decentralized justice. That will help, ideally encourage other researchers. Having this article will sort of, bring people on board to think about these problems and help us resolve these challenges to the degree that we have, future challenges that we want to overcome to increase the potential adoption of Kleros, technical otherwise. So in terms of the stuff I'm working on now, I'm still thinking a lot about the soulbound tokens that I sort of talked about on previous calls, and how they can potentially be used in juror weighting of juror selection. So the idea is that conceivably you could have some soulbound token that attests to some expertise or identity characteristic that you might have. Maybe you apply to a curated list that's curated by Kleros, saying I'm an expert in such and such, and then some panel of Kleros jurors award you a soulbound token saying that you're an expert in that thing that you can't transfer because you can't send it to somebody else because they're not an expert, you are. And then this could be used either as like a screen to require that you have this token to be drawn in certain kinds of cases, which could potentially be useful, or sort of interesting but more hypothetical. If there are cases that maybe draw from lots of different types of expertise, you might want to have a panel of jurors that have lots of different kinds of sort of backgrounds and different kinds of SPTs. And then there's the sort of question of like, okay, I can't draw necessarily people that have all the cellbound tokens. What if I like weight people's chance of being drawn by the cellbound tokens I have? So then your chance of being drawn is some kind of formula based on like how many tokens you've staked in the court, plus like your cellbound tokens. And I'm inspired by ideas people have had about weighting of quadratic funding contributions. Sort of Glenn Weil and his group, if you look at some recent articles they put out as preprints on weighting contributions to quadratic funding mechanisms by cellbound tokens and by sort of decentralized identity mechanisms. And then there's a question of whether something like that might make sense for Kleros. So starting to write up a blog article on some preliminary versions of these ideas now. So hopefully you'll see that, in a few weeks. In terms of like these actually being implemented, it's probably further off. As you know, the version 2 of Kleros is very modular, so that you can, like at launch, we'll have something that sort of looks like V1 in terms of its kind of social choice theory, voting system, incentive system mechanisms. But the court is designed so that you can like add new modules later that add new voting systems or incentive systems or drawing mechanisms without having to relaunch the court and having everyone restake. And while some of the like voting system things the research is done, it's just a matter of them being developed once the developers have launched the sort of modular skeleton. The SPT weighting things are a bit further off, but hopefully someday.
Yeah, it's coming. So I guess it's also worth mentioning we had this conversation with Thibaut Schreppel, who, well, he's a researcher he's based in Netherlands, but he's also a fellow at Stanford, and he researched what a new field that is called computational antitrust, which involves a bunch of situations of identification of collusion in decentralized networks and different types of attacks that could happen. And well, he was invited. If you want to learn more about this, he was invited to a podcast episode, so you can check this. I mean, I'm sure Jean is going to share with you the episode, so you can learn. We had a very nice conversation with him about well, different elements where we could collaborate. As you know, I think I mentioned this here. Jan, who is one of our PhD researchers, he's going to spend 6 months at Stanford, starting in November. He got accepted for a visiting stay there. And yeah, he's going to be, maybe working a bit with Thibaut on these topics. And also this week we have been discussing with Jan a new experiment he's doing to learn more about how Kleros jurors and the system can resist to bribe attempts. And this is yeah, it's very technical, but it's one of the research priorities we have to make Kleros more resistant to these situations. So we have that also. I think we have been playing a bit also with some marketing tweaks with like aesthetics and branding, and we're like playing with Midjourney now, so we are working a bit on that. Jean, I don't know if you want to comment something about that.
Yes. We will make an internal workshop, so everyone in the team is familiar with these AI tools that can make both threads or any content that we have a little bit more attractive. And I'm very excited because I believe that from this experiment we might come up with the visual, like a visual language for the V2, and maybe some rebranding or renewed branding for the V2.
It's a redesign more than a rebranding.
Yeah, redesign. Yeah, forgot how to say it. And Yeah, Plinio is already playing with it, and Carla will start soon. So it's pretty nice. And also, one interesting thing is that I created a graphic for Juan Samitier. He made a thread about Gnosis chain yesterday, and it went viral. And I don't want to take credit for because I created the image, but I believe it sometimes it helps a lot to have like a catchy image to go along with good content. So
Yeah, maybe because nobody reads, so just put a good image
yeah,
and then just do simulated text, right?
you click because of the image, and then you might continue reading or not.
This is the evolution of humanity. We simplified to the single tweet, but now reading a tweet is too long, so you need to have a catchy image. So credit where credit is due.
I mean,
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Jim, the next step, you know what's next step? The next step is, just you need to not even an image. You just need to create some electrical shock that is going to be sent to our like a Neuralink chip in the brain, and that's it. That we don't need more than that. That's going to create engagement.
Going closer and closer to the reptilian brain until it's just an electrical shock.
That's tweetable. I have to say that's yeah, that's that and the mid journey, reptilian brain. That's viral for sure.
Yes.
I mean, we were
And
thinking that humanity was making progress, but anyway, you go ahead.
yes, now the next step is, of course, the TikTok influencer talking about Kleros. So we are still it's still a work in progress.
We are just waiting for the decentralized TikTok to emerge, and then actually that's not crazy because we had a conversation with the guy who was building a decentralized TikTok. So
yeah, we had a conversation with a guy that exactly they were trying to build something similar to TikTok but decentralized. I don't know if they have advanced in the last months, but yeah.
What was the slogan? It's like TikTok, but slower and more expensive. I mean, of course, we are early days of the technology. Of course, it's going to get better for sure. Okay, so we have that, and I guess that's more or less it. Jim, do you have anything else for this week?
Yes, there are two things. We posted a thread about the renewed snapshot module. I don't know if it's the right thing to say if it's the snapshot module or the Zodiac module, but Green is here. I believe he can explain a little bit how it works and what is new. And there's also recorded a video that I will share right now about it, and that explains everything. But Green, are you there?
Hello. Yes. Can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Am I well? Okay. So I wanted to talk about the Kleros snapshot module because this is a thing we made like 3 months ago and we haven't really presented it properly yet. There was a video made which I will be presenting very soon. But anyhow, if you don't know what the Kleros snapshot module is, it's just it's like the Kleros governor. It's very similar. It allows you to execute transactions that are associated with snapshot proposals, but it's better integrated with snapshot. So let me paste here. Okay, so this is a sample snapshot space. This space is currently governed by a safe wallet, and the way it works is that this wallet, let me show you the view here, and all this stuff is better explained in the video, right? But I'm just trying to show. So yeah, you open that, it will ask you to accept the terms or something, but it's just so that you can see how